This is the eAhora Romeo II 2500-watt peak electric bike, and just looking at it in front of me, I can tell it's not your everyday electric bike. This thing looks absolutely rugged with its fat 20 by 4.5-inch tires, massive dual suspension, and that vintage-inspired frame. It's got a unique, almost motorcycle-style vibe, thanks to the bold lines and the chunky high-strength aluminum build. The seat is extra wide and soft, a faux leather saddle that immediately makes you think about comfort over those long rides. The handlebars are pretty straightforward, but packed with a few surprises, like a colorful smart display and app controls. Honestly, I was a little bit intimidated when I first saw it because of its size and the amount of tech built into the bike. From my experience, the first thing that really jumps out when you hop on the Romeo II is the sheer power. It's got two motors, each rated at 1250 watts, giving a combined peak output of 2500 watts. For anyone new to e-bikes, that basically means this bike can launch you forward way faster than most electric bikes out there and climb steep hills like a champ. There are 4 drive modes you can choose by pressing a button: front, rear, dual, and something called super dual drive. Honestly, I thought I'd stick to just basic pedal assist, but this is so much fun to play with. It's easy to switch between modes too, especially when you're hitting some rough patches or want a little extra kick on a hill. The battery here is no joke. The eAhora Romeo II comes with a 5260 Ah battery, which impressed me right out of the box. In normal language, that means this bike is built for distance. It can take you up to about 200 miles on a single charge if you use pedal assist moderately and don't just full throttle it the whole time. That kind of range makes it perfect for those who like long rides, whether it's for commuting or exploring trails on the weekends. I don't think I've ever worried about running out of battery, thanks to the range and the built-in BMS, which is a smart monitoring system that protects the battery from overheating or overcharging. On cold mornings or hot summer days, this battery holds up really well. Another key feature that stood out is the full suspension system, and this one's not just for show. The custom hydraulic fork up front, combined with a multi-function rear shock absorber, smooths out every single bump. You get that feeling like you're gliding, even over potholes or rough dirt. The dual hydraulic disc brakes are responsive and confident, bringing this heavy bike to a steady stop every time. That's huge for safety, especially when you're picking up speed or carrying extra gear. Visibility and comfort got a serious upgrade on this bike too. The headlight is crazy bright, 2000 lumens that light up the path ahead for over 100 feet. The rear light is smart, meaning it gets brighter when you brake. I ride before sunrise a lot, and this makes early commutes a lot less worrying. The wide fat tires are puncture resistant and grip well on different surfaces, whether it's sand, snow, or just rough pavement. Even though the bike is heavy, about 125 to 150 pounds, depending on what you add, once you're riding, that weight helps stability. But yes, moving it in and out of tight spaces or lifting it onto a rack can be awkward if you're not used to it. When it comes to controls and app connectivity, there's a lot to like. The Romeo II has this full-color display that's easy to read, even in sunlight, with information like speed, battery left, and distance traveled. There's also Bluetooth connectivity so you can connect your phone, use the Bike Go app, and monitor stats, change settings, and even charge your phone on the go. It did take me a bit to get used to it, and honestly, at first, I was afraid I'd mess something up, but the user interface is pretty straightforward after a couple of rides. From my experience, assembly wasn't exactly plug and play, but most tools are included, along with both printed instructions and online videos. I'm not super handy, so it took me a bit longer, but if you follow the guides, you should be good. One thing to remember is that this bike comes about 85% assembled, so expect to spend some time on the setup. It's worth double-checking all the bolts and the brake calibration, especially before your first long ride. I'll be honest, I was a bit worried about the weight when I first unboxed it, and it's definitely something to consider if you live in an apartment or need to carry your bike upstairs. For me, though, once it's on the road or trail, the extra heft feels like an advantage more than a problem because you feel stable even at higher speeds. The maximum speed here is around 40 miles an hour, which is wild for an electric bike and honestly more than enough. I wouldn't recommend hitting top speed in crowded areas, but on open roads or trails, it's a blast. I'd recommend this for anyone who wants an e-bike that balances serious power with comfort, especially if you're commuting long distances or love exploring off the grid. If you're a beginner, there's a bit of a learning curve, just because of how much power this bike has and the advanced features. but the controls are beginner-friendly once you get used to them. The wide language on the display helps make things pretty simple. Even if you've never tried an e-bike before, just take your time and go through the manual. About support and reliability, I've read a few reports online where people had small issues, like customer service not always being quick enough, or the occasional part arriving bent during shipping. I personally had no trouble with assembly, but I did make sure to inspect everything for damage as soon as it arrived, just in case. The warranty is decent, with 1 year for the motor and battery, 2 years for the frame, and ongoing tech support. Compared to other electric bikes I've tried, like the Electric XP or some of the more common 500-watt models, the Romeo II is on another level with its dual motor power, battery capacity, and ride comfort. The electric is lighter and cheaper, but doesn't offer nearly the same range or ability to handle really tough trails. The Cycrown's motor is similar in some ways, but its battery doesn't last nearly as long, and I noticed you get more features and more speed with the Romeo II overall. In conclusion, the eAhora Romeo T hits a sweet spot between power, range, comfort, and design. I think its motorcycle-inspired look really turns heads, and it's just as good on the trail as it is for commuting. The huge range means less worrying about charging. The hydraulic brakes and LED lights make riding safer. It is heavy, and you might need a little patience with assembly, but I think that's a fair trade-off for what you get. If you're just getting into e-bikes or looking to upgrade to something more serious, this is definitely one to check out. It brings so many key features together in one package. If you enjoyed this quick review or found it useful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching.